Kev Buckler, you got anything?
I do. So this is my opinion, mine only, not not speaking for everybody else, but the MJF situation. We all know he's a prick. When you go sign, he's going to do something to your stuff. I don't like him. I don't agree with everybody that he's a great heel. I don't agree that he's staying in kayfabe, because when you say MJF is in kayfabe, that's a spit in the face to the Horsemen. That's a spit in the face to all the old people that had to stay in the ring or they were going to get killed. That's a spit in the face to when they shaved Jerry Lawler's hair. Uh, Gilbert, Tommy Rich, and them, they had to stay in there. Tommy Rich was underneath the ring, but they had to stay in there. If they left, they had to stay kayfabe because everybody thought it was real. They had to stay there till everybody left, or they were going to get killed. What MJF is doing is not kayfabe, but I'm here to say that I can't blame MJF anymore. What should have happened the first time that he ever flipped off that kid, the 1st time he ever ripped off something, should have been stopped. It's the fans that are feeding into this that's making him worse. It's the people that say, "Oh, MJF spit on my figure. Oh, it's fabulous." How is that fabulous when you spent $60-something for a figure? He scribbled on the back and spit on it. How is that fabulous? It's not fucking fabulous. It's a bunch of bullshit. That's what it is. So you're saying it's fabulous. MJF's seeing this shit. You don't think he is, but he is. So he's going to say, how can I outdo myself? Well, I'm going to sign your figure, even though I don't care how much it is. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to throw it, or I'm going to do something else to outdo last week. You're feeding into his bullshit and you're making him. He's not what you think he is. He cusses people and he cusses and cusses. If he didn't cuss, if he come to WWE, he'd be a jobber in 6 months because they take everything away from him that makes him famous. And that's all the cussing and talking bad about people. He's not that much, and you're just feeding into his stuff. And the more you say, "Oh, I love this stuff. Oh, it's great. He's just great. He's keeping kayfabe," it's just going to get worse and worse. So I'm just saying to these people out there that are bitching now because your stuff got messed up, but in the past you was like, "Oh, this is great." It's your fault. You're making him worse, and that's my rant.
Or how about him throwing paint markers just randomly, indiscriminately to people walking by? I mean, that's
just
not
the people walking by. I ran and one just came out in front of me, and I'm like, I don't even want to meet the motherfucker. I had no plans. I didn't even want to come close. I didn't even know what room he was in.
It's eventually going to get to the point where he's slapping people,
and he's going to get slapped.
He supposedly was slapping people in the nuts.
Yeah, he was hitting people. That's assault, brother. That is assault. That's what I call it. I don't call it funny. I call it assault, and he should go to jail. Because if he'd done that to me, I'd either beat the hell out of him, try my best, because I ain't talking like I'm a badass, but I'd try my damn best, or he'd go to jail. One of two things would happen, because they wouldn't control me, because I'd go off on him.
So Michael commented that that guy asked him to throw the figures, and there may have been somebody that asked him to throw the figures, but I was literally outside that door, and there was a lot of people there that did not ask him to throw figures. So I was there in person. I didn't read it on some dirt sheet. And I had a former admin that I was spending time talking with who had his stuff totally destroyed, and he didn't ask him to throw anything. But I will say this, and then I'll let you continue. I can tell you one person that totally controlled it and kept that from happening was Jess, my wife.
Yes, she did.
She refused to let him use Sharpie on figures when he wanted to use his Sharpie. She refused to let him throw Michael Bray admin's figures when he wanted to throw them, and she did not ask him to throw them, and he wanted to throw the figures across the room. She literally snatched it out of his hand before he could throw it, and I have picture proof that happened. So I can tell you for fact that he wasn't just throwing figures for people that wanted them thrown.
And then for me, I was asked from one of the members, one of our great members, to get a figure sign from him. Well, when I found out that A, his line was super long, then B, what he was doing was signing them in Sharpie, and at the time it was $100 for him to sign that. I would have been fucking pissed if I spent $100 on him. Then I come back and my figure is either A, damaged, ruined, or signed in a Sharpie. And I would have not been happy at all. And I would have been mad at the person getting it signed for me. because I'm like, what are you doing? It's this, this is what I paid $100. This is what I get. And then that was what he was choosing to do. I heard, members going up with paint markers, and he was refusing to take their paint markers, and he was just signing them with Sharpie, and it looked terrible. And I felt bad, if I was going to get $100 from our member, because that's, we didn't upcharge or nothing, do no consignment fee bullshit either. It was $100. I got the $100 and got it done. But I would have felt so bad that their product was ruined, and then for them to get that, and for them to waste their hard-earned money on what they got. And I told them, I said, the best. I said, in my opinion, I said I wouldn't do it. I said that's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. I said I can try, but I personally, in a business, I didn't feel comfortable to go do that and do that member wrong by go getting them signed in Sharpie or getting it damaged, because he was ripping some of them open, like ripped them open and then signing on the inside of the insert, and come back and give them that. To me, like what Kev nailed it on the head, he is not kayfabe. He's a fucking dick.
Yes.
That's just who he is. He's nobody. He's nobody out there. Like I said, he's an AEW.
There was another member had an item that was signed by multiple AEW talent, including John Moxley. He asked that person, where did John Moxley sign? They showed it to him, and he crossed it out where John Moxley had signed. So, I mean, there's a lot more to that story than has got out. And that's in no way to blame the event itself. That's just his personal attitude. So I don't want anything bad said about that event. That event was great.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have been at all. I was just, pretty much saying that it's the people that it should have been stopped a long time ago.
Yep.
When it first started.
To me, too, you're paying your hard-earned money to be mistreated. Give me $100. I'll mistreat you. No, I'm saying no, I wouldn't. But that's what he's doing. He's taking your money and he's cussing at you. I wouldn't mind that at all. If I get my stuff signed and get it the way I want it, I'm fine. Then he could call me an asshole, whatever, after I get my stuff and I'm going. But but after that, like I said, him to, make fun of me, him to take my money, not care, destroy my items. Or if I had my kids there and he would have said something smart to them or flipped them off, we'd be fighting. I mean, it wouldn't be no. He didn't have no bodyguards. I'm waiting for somebody to whoop his ass one good time, and that'll put an end to it. That'll put an end to it real quick. Somebody.
I don't know if I'd whip his ass or not, but I'd try to hell it. I'd probably go to jail and everything else.
One good time, and he would stop that. And that's not, like I said, that's not kayfabe. Kayfabe is, yes, you're putting on, you're that way all the way through, but that is just being a straight dick. And like I said, he's not going to be, if you let him go to WWE, he's going to be a nobody there. And like I said, right now, if he doesn't, I guarantee you give him a promo and he can't use one cuss word, he won't have a promo. Exactly. So yeah, go to the PG-13 WWE and
you wait a second calling that PG now. I done covered that multiple times.
Chief said
it still says TV PG on it.
Kayfabe is when Harley Race would walk and not talk to you. He just wouldn't pay attention to you for saying something. That's kayfabe. That's a badass, and Harley Race would kill that little motherfucker.
Now, now back then too, they want to, if they didn't want to sign an autograph, they say no, we're not signing. And that's for me another point for MJF. He's all about that money. And if I'm obligated to go to a show and to make money on my appearance and sign it, then I'm going to go there, sign it, and whatever. If he don't want that money or don't want to sign, then don't go. Just don't go at all. Just don't sign nothing. And
I'm going to include, if you like that, if you've got a piece that's tore up by him and you like it, then fine. This is just my opinion. I think it should have been stopped a long time ago when he first started doing it. And now he's doing it to other people. 2
points I want to make about that. Chief says, he calls me by name. He says, Will, could you imagine if MJF did that to me and Kevin was with me, referring to Mr. Kevin Cross. Great guy. I think very highly of. Kevin would have killed him. And I believe that because I think Kevin is probably one of, if not the most respectful wrestlers and talents that I've ever met. And you guys know I've always said that about Kevin Cross.
Cross would beat his ass.
And then also, too, another point that I wanted to make, it's rumored that he was paid $30,000 for that appearance that day. I don't know for sure. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to know that, but that's the rumor that he charged $30,000 for that appearance to act like that. So that's a damn.
And had 2 days originally scheduled and condensed it down into one day, which was nothing great for anybody. You know, the fans had to wait in longer line for him.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's probably like half and half, man. Like some people probably get a kick out of him being a dick to him. And then the other half are just like, wow, I can't believe that. I'll never do that again.
Hey, real quick.
We were standing there when a young lady come running out of that room full of tears, whole face was red, and so upset. She had come to this show to see him, and she ran out of there boohoo crying. So, you know, there wasn't nothing kayfabe about that. Go ahead, Ben.
William, I'm going to ask you this question. One of the greatest heels probably of all time, Roddy Piper, and I'm sure you have met him.
Yeah.
Did he ever act any that way at any signings?
I've said 1,000 times when we've all talked, the greatest wrestler I ever had the privilege of meeting was Roddy Piper out of all of them. And, you know, I think he just went above and beyond, and truly great guy. And I've met almost anybody you can think of, and Piper was the absolute best of all time. So